Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about perfectionism and the 3 reasons why it is literally killing us in terms of our sanity, ruining our mental health, and really hindering us when it comes to reaching our business goals. So let's get started. First and foremost, perfectionism delays everything. So when you're taking the time to critique and re-review every single little thing that you're doing, every piece of content that you're creating, it literally takes so much time. What should take just maybe an hour or two ends up taking the whole day. Nothing is good enough. Everything just seems like it needs to be corrected in some shape or form. You're never satisfied with whatever you create or whatever you produce. It never quite matches the vision of what you've had for it in your head. And the problem with that is that it's a very unrealistic way to do your work. Not only will it take you forever to get things done, but you'll literally drive yourself insane trying to make your work perfect when there's really no such thing as perfection, especially when it comes to your work. There are times when you'll create something, you think it's crap, no one's gonna love it, you upload it, and then tons of people are commenting on your work and talking about how much they love it, how much it speaks to them. And it really is society that puts these unrealistic expectations on us. We're pushed to always be better and to do better, and we're taught that we're never quite enough. It begins really early. Even thinking of grade school, everything that you produce, everything that you created for school has to be graded by someone so that someone can note the areas where you suck and the areas where you're okay. It's just something that society has just created and has convinced us of the importance of always critiquing someone, of always telling them where they've missed the mark or where they could always just keep doing better. But to what end result? Not to mention when you're new in business and you're just starting out, you have to produce a ton of upfront content to help get your message out there, to help people know that you exist, so you can let them know what you can offer to them and what you can provide. And the more time that you spend trying to critique what you're producing and trying to find flaws in it and obsessing over ways that you can improve it, by the time you're finished with it, you already should have churned out maybe 3 or 4 more pieces of content. So if anything, keep pushing out the content, and then over time, you'll be able to see what works and what isn't working. But taking the time to individually critique something yourself, it just takes too much time. It takes far too much effort. Besides glaring typos or any issues that would inhibit someone from actually understanding what it is that you're trying to say, you really should just let it fly. And over time, you'll see what works and what doesn't work. And that'll do you way more of a service versus you trying to proactively assume what you think will and won't work, which doesn't make sense because you're just too close to the material. You'll only be able to view it from one particular lens, your own perspective. And that's 100% normal and natural. So just go ahead, hit upload or post, and let it be done. The second issue with aiming for perfectionism all the time is that it's inauthentic, it's unrelatable, because no one is perfect. Literally nothing on this earth is perfect. And if you're trying so hard to portray this image of perfection, no one's going to be able to relate to you. The community that you're trying to reach, they might have that know factor and know you, but they're not really going to be able to build that like factor or that trust factor because you don't seem real. So not only will your message have less meaning and less impact behind it, but you know what, to be honest, you'll probably get a little sick of yourself because you'll be putting this fake version of you, this unreal persona that you can't even relate to. And then you just don't even know what you're doing and why you're doing it anymore. And if you wanted to live your life that way, if you wanted to run your business that way and operate it that way, then honestly, you might as well have just stayed back at the 9 to 5 where everyone else just happily pretends to be whatever they're not just to survive and skate by. But no one wants to live that way. Honestly, that's why we're venturing forth to create our own businesses and to build authentic and genuine communities where we can be vulnerable, where we can feel seen, where we don't have to be perfect. Because this idea of perfectionism that has been fueled by capitalism serves no one. It serves literally no one at all. And you're not doing it just for you. You're doing it so that other people can feel safe enough to be able to be vulnerable and show their true selves as well. And that is how you build authentic community. That is how you build genuine connection. I find it absolutely intriguing that nowadays in these times, these pandemic times, that, we're finding community in online and virtual spaces. And yes, there is this separation because we're missing that person-to-person human contact. But to be honest, in some of the spaces where I am and some of the groups where I'm in, especially groups that are specific to Black women and women of color, I'm finding that I'm able to be more vulnerable and more genuine and show my authentic self more so with these women that I've known for maybe less than a month versus some of the women that I know and have known in real life. Just interesting side note there. The third reason why we need to kiss perfectionism goodbye is because it's essentially been a survival mechanism, especially for us as Black women, as women of color. We're taught that perfectionism is not just some lofty ideal that we should be striving for. It's literally how we can survive in this world, in this society, in this country. It's literally how we can maintain our livelihoods, how we can continue to just function and exist as safe as we possibly can be in these spaces that were not built for us. And this can have some really nasty side effects that trickle into every other aspect of our life, including in our relationships. When you're taught that your baseline is not good enough and is unacceptable, then you're always striving for something else other than yourself. Then you never actually give yourself a chance to be seen, to be heard. You don't even bother with exploring the depths of who you actually are, without societal expectations on you, without trying to satisfy your parents, satisfy your church, satisfy your job, satisfy your teachers. You don't give yourself space to just be and figure out who it is that you are. And on top of this, you also don't make space to allow yourself to critique other people and other ideas that are being forced upon you. So you don't get into the habit of questioning things, asking why you have to do things a certain way, asking yourself why you have to think a certain way about certain ideas. And when you get used to living in this way, when it feels like everything that you do has to match some objective standard of perfection that honestly does not exist, then everything you do, including your business, just turns into a chore. Every single piece of content that you have to create just becomes something that you just check off a list versus something that empowers you, empowers others, something that speaks directly to you. And just humans are just not meant to live this way. We are not designed to be these machines that seek endless perfection. We are meant to live our lives fully and completely in community and to ensure that the things we're doing provide impact. We are designed to create and to be expressive and to discover ourselves in safe spaces so that we can show up and be comfortable and be vulnerable and discover who we really are and what we're really meant to do on this planet. Remember, it's never too late to start unlearning perfectionism. Don't let it stand in the way between you and the life you want to live and the impact that you want to be providing in your life and in your community. Don't be afraid to tell it, society, capitalism, its ugly cousins, white supremacy, and patriarchy to go kick rocks. It's not easy. It's definitely a journey, but you can do it. As a matter of fact, we can do it together. So, if you found this helpful, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and if you haven't seen it already, make sure you watch my video on toxic hustle culture, because we got to get rid of that ish too. I'll see you there.